No, it's not enough to appeal to people's good heart to do something for you. You must think from their perspective. Think from what motivates them, what excites them. Yes, I could be very free, very nice with you, very open, very friendly. But at the same time, when I'm asking, I need to find an angle that hooks you, an angle that tells me where your motivation is. Awesome. In this episode, we're going to be talking about very exciting and interesting topic. It's about mastering the art of asking. Mastering the art of asking. And it's very, very simple because in this day and age, I'll call it the ask economy. In the ask economy, yes, there are traditional forms of payment you can pay for services and products. But sometimes just knowing the right person to put in the word for you is more effective than even paying for whether it's an ad or whether seeking for an investment opportunity or whether seeking to raise funds for your most cherished and lovable charity. In all these things, sometimes it's more effective to just ask, to just have relationships that you can lean on or seek, or relationship that you can, plug into when you need help. There is no substitute for a great help from a fellow human being, but there's an art to it. There's an art to it, but most society tend to ask for asking sake. But so in this episode, we're just going to look at the most effective way of asking, and the reason is that if we ask the right way, it becomes effective in the way we seek to collaborate with others, in the way we seek to engage with others, and in the way we seek to improve upon our businesses and even upon ourselves, right? So to actually ask, there's the key point to be mindful of is that you have to have a genuine connection. Genuine connection. That genuine connection is the springboard for effectively asking. So let's look at some of the dynamics of asking. So I would say that not all asks are created equal. There are different spectrum when it comes to asking for help or asking your friend, your relation, your work colleague, or asking for asking. There's a broad spectrum, right? So it is crucial to consider the intention behind your request. So basically, I'll capture this under the importance of selfless asking. So the importance of selfless asking is that it's important to think about why you are asking than just asking. So if you ask just for the sole focus of, oh, I want this help, I want that, what that happens is that it positions you in a very selfish, self-centered focus, or your interest now becomes very self-centered. Whenever we approach people with a very self-centered angle, what happens is that there's some kind of resentment, some kind of pushback. It may not be very obvious. It may not be very, I would say, poignant, right? Very, very visible, very obvious in your face. It may not be in your face. It may be that kind of subtle rejection. Oh, okay. Hey, like let's do a role play. Let's say I'm approaching a friend called Eric, and I need help. Hey Eric, I need you to help me promote this video that I'm doing. Maybe Eric has a very massive following on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is. That I say, hey Eric, I have done this video and I would want you to. I know you have a massive audience, right? And I want you to help promote this for me. Remember, I haven't. Basically, I may be in a good relationship with Eric, but maybe it may catch him or in this case Eric by surprise, right? So he may not just say no to me. He may just say, "Oh, okay, I'll figure something out." Right, and I'll figure something out may take 2 weeks, may take 3 weeks, maybe a month, 2 months. Then you call him again, say, okay, hey, I've been busy, I traveled here and there. It's just a way of stonewalling you, right? It's a subtle way of telling you no. But if you create a selfless way of asking, and a selfless way of asking is you frame your request in a way that highlights mutual benefit or shared values, right? So let's say the same Eric may have this large audience, but and his audience may be maybe young, teenage or what. Well, let's create something young teenage entrepreneurs, right? And I approach Eric and say, "Hey, look, I'm making this video. I think uh, it will be very, very helpful to your audience." And I'll go ahead to explain why. That what I'm talking about asking. A lot of young people tend to reap what it's a biblical term, reap where they haven't sown. And this is going to help them to take a step back to understand the right way of asking. Because if they get the knowledge to understand how to ask, the ability to have a solid relationship with them and be able to go on after building that relationship and be able to go on to ask could be the key that unlock their destinies and their potential. So, okay, wow, tell me more. And I begin to tell him more. I begin to tell him more. And I begin to find a hook that connects with his heart, or that connects with his vision, his goal. Then I would have added value to him and to his audience. So in that case, asking becomes very easy because it creates a kind of a win-win scenario. Win-win scenario. But if I just go and ask, hey, I want this, I want that, I want that, chances are I'm just going to get stonewalled, and I deserve to be stonewalled. And if you ask that way, you deserve to be stonewalled, because in this life, everybody needs something. Your job is to build a relationship whereby you are creating a very selfless relationship. It's not about you taking. Right? I heard this from Marangoni the other time, that he says, for everything in life, it's a natural law. Everything has two sides. Everything. Have you ever seen? He said, have you ever seen a slice of bread with just one side? You always have the back and the front, right? Have you ever seen a piece of paper, right, like this? That has only a single side, right? No, this piece of paper, no matter how flat it is, it has two sides. That side and then the back side, right? Two sides. So it's the same in life. In life, most things, if not all, have two sides. So when you're looking at asking, ask yourself about the flip side of asking. The flip side of asking is giving. So, and before you can ask, or whenever you know you're okay, whenever I ask, I feel stonewalled, ask yourself, what have you been doing wrong? Look at the flip side. The flip side of you asking is giving. Have you given? Think about what, when you're building relationship, you're going to think about what you bring to the table. What are you giving? Or what have you given? What have you given? Because when you give, it's not necessarily about money. It's not necessarily about physical resources. Giving can be in so many different ways. So let me pick the example of this same Eric again. That, hey, if let's say in the past I've been good to Eric, I've been doing things for him, not because I will get, not because I'm giving to get, but I'm giving because I genuinely cherish and love that relationship. That relationship is important. Therefore, once in a while, I will check up with Eric how he's doing. If he posts something that is good, I will comment to say, "Hey, Eric, this I watched your video or your TikTok video, and I think it was highly impactful. Keep doing the work that you're doing." Well, I keep sowing those kind of seeds. I'm giving affirmation. I'm giving positive energy. I'm energizing Eric, right? A time will come because of the law of reciprocity. The law of reciprocity, simply to paraphrase, is that human beings are always inclined to find a way to give back when you do good to them. It's true. Whenever people do good to me, I'm always looking for a way to also give back to them, because that is how God created the world. So I think the first dynamic of asking is giving. So you give not because you're going to get anything. You give because it's selfless. You give because that's who you are. So you're going to do a deep dive, soul searching into who you are. Do you have that giving spirit? Because one of the things that's most annoying is to have a friend who is always a taker. And I've had some, typically, personally, I've had some very bad experiences with quote unquote friends, man. People that you call friend, and then you realize that the only time they come to you is when they need something. Initially, yes, you can overlook those things for a while, the first time, second time, third. After the third time, you start looking, hey man, this guy is just a freeloader. Nobody likes a freeloader. I hate freeloaders. Not that I hate human beings, but I hate that attitude of just being a freeloader. Not that I need anything, but I just hate the attitude of it's just taking, taking, and taking. Right? I remember I had a friend that I thought he was a friend, right? And then we went through some kind of a family difficulty, or a period of intense difficulty, and this friend came to know about it, came around, that kind of thing, and then got to know that we were going through that. And the day they left, that was it. Never called to check up, nothing, never, it never it. And then fast forward 2 years afterwards, this friend called again. The first thing we talked about, oh, I need this help. Isaac, can you help me? And that help also literally needed my wife to also join in to help. I said, what? Are you kidding me? I just said, hey, look, I don't have time for that. It's not that I didn't have the ability to do it, but at that point in time, his cup had run over. You don't build relationship by just taking. You build relationship by giving first. Then after you giving, then you can ask in a way that is selfless. You ask in a way that highlights mutual benefit between you and the other party, or highlight shared value. Then the other thing is that even when you are asking, there's a right way to ask, right? You have to, I would say, contextualize the right way to ask, right? So imagine you go, maybe your church is doing a program, or you have your own personal charity, or you are raising funds for an organization that you cherish deeply, right? It's not enough to just approach people, right? To say, even those you've given to, right? Even those you've given time, energy, resource, love, affection, whatever it is that you've given. It's not enough to just go ahead and say, hey, can you give me this? No, it's not enough to appeal to people's good heart to do something for you. You must think from their perspective. Think from what motivates them, what excites them. Yes, I could be very free, very nice with you, very open, very friendly. But at the same time, when I'm asking, I need to find an angle that hooks you, an angle that tells me where your motivation is, right? I need to find an angle that motivates with your value system or your value. If I'm able to appeal to that angle, asking you becomes super, super easy. So in terms of that, to craft your request, you have to align with their interest, right? Show them how they contributing positively to your charity also positively contributes into their lives. For instance, let's say, when I used to work for Med Assets, right? Med Assets in Dallas, Texas. Our CEO, amazing. I've never seen any giver like him. His name is John Bardis. Amazing human being. I've never seen anybody like that up to that point. A man who has a heart for giving, a man with absolute golden heart. But it's not everything that John Bardis would look at, even if it's impactful, is amazing, is wonderful, it touches people's lives. If even all of that, right? Because for me, sitting back, sitting from behind, in the stands and looking at that man, I noticed that what really resonated with him was anything that had to do with the US military. So if you had anything that aligned with helping the welfare of U.S. military, those who are vets, who are retired military veterans, and things like that. That really got him excited. It got him passionate. It's like he loves it. Yes, he did things. I would say on a tangential level, other things that he was doing, but I think the area of U.S. Military, and also I think the Olympics, the sport, U.S. Olympics, anything that had to do with wrestling, U.S. Olympics, U.S. military really got his attention. Really, really got his attention. So if I had anything in that area, it would be easier. First of all, I need to have given something, right? I need to have done something to nurture that relationship. And if it got to maybe something U.S. military, it would be easier to approach somebody like John Bardis because that is his core interest. Okay, that is his core interest. Then the final thing about asking is that you have to be mindful of the person. Be mindful of the person's state. You don't go asking for people, even though you have great relationship with them. You've given to them. You are attending to their interests or whatever it is, and then you go and ask at the time when the person is going through, let's say, a bereavement. You have to be mindful of other people. Check their state, whatever they are doing, what the current state of their being. Maybe they are going through, maybe they may be going through a very terrible divorce. They may be going through some serious hardship, maybe a health challenge. Be considerate. So you go to them, be mindful of that. The fact that they are going through challenge doesn't mean you can't ask. But I want you to consider being mindful of that. Take that into consideration that, hey, look, hey, Eric, I understand that. Look, I understand you're going through this very, very hard time. I feel you. I pray for you. I pray that things get better. I want you to jump back on your feet as quickly as possible. Anyway, I came here with a request. I know times are difficult, but I couldn't help by ask. Should in case you are in a mental space that you'll be able to help. No pressure. You don't have to do it because of what you're going through. But if you have the room to help, this is the request. I have that. But once again, you don't have to. No pressure, nothing. But if it sits well with you, I have this request. I have that. And thank you very much. If you frame things that way, your chances of getting the right response, getting people's ability to help um, increases by a mile because you've demonstrated thoughtfulness. You've demonstrated that you acknowledge their needs, you understand them. You come from a position of not a taker, but actually you come from a position as a real giver. So, in summary, um, the ability to ask is powerful because most of the time, whatever we're going through, whatever challenge that we're going through, be it financial, relationship, health, whatever, name it, our solution, the solution that you desperately need, typically are in the hands of somebody else. What you are desperately thinking, oh, the world is going to end tomorrow because of your need or because of what is bothering you, somebody else has that solution. So the ability to build or the build or cultivate a relationship and build in a way where you'll be able to lean back on that relationship to ask for support is key. It's probably one of the biggest underutilized key to success. So how do you build that? You do that by first of all giving. The law of reciprocity. Give. Scripture says, give, and it will come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, shall men give unto your bosom, or shall men give to you. This is scripture, right? You give, it will come back to you. It's a law. The moment it's like you sow, you plant a piece of a seed of corn in the soil. You've given the soil. It begins to germinate, right? It grows, germinates. And when it's given back to you, it gives back in multiple fold. So whenever we sow ourselves, we sow time, we sow resources into people, into organizations, into churches, into whatever we believe, into our charitable causes, our reaping back is multiplied. It's the same way, right? So you build a relationship that you could potentially that could potentially give you the ability to ask for support when the need arises, right? Then embrace the power of selfless asking. When you need to ask in a way that is not me, 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 me. Look for mutual benefit. So you're going to ask a friend to help you with your business. You're running out of cash. You need some financial support. Okay. Can you position it so that when your business turns around, your friend can also benefit from the upside? Instead of saying, hey, give me money to put in my business, and then when I get it, I'll bring it back to you. Why don't you put in a win-win scenario? Hey, give me money. I wouldn't mind. I will pay you back in 2-3 months time. But when I'm going to pay you back, I probably will give you a little piece of equity as well, right? Or I will pay you back interest, but this product that I'm developing or I'm working on, I will give it to you free for a lifetime. Or I'll give you a sample of it so that you and your family can also. I will pay you back. I'll pay you back, but I'm going to do far more than you could ask for, right? That is the best way to ask it. And then finally, you have to understand the perspective of others, right? So that you can craft your request base your request in a way that highlights their shared value. I believe that by doing so, you will unlock tremendous opportunities, forge meaningful relationships and connections in your life and business. And that brings us to the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching. And I would want you to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification button so that anytime I share content like this, you get notified. And anyway, again, if you have any questions or comment for this topic, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section, and I'll be very, very happy to respond. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Thank you.